What's up YouTube, I'm back with another UFC video, and as you could tell by the title, I'm gonna be betting on this week's UFC Fight Night card. I'm gonna be betting on all 13 fights happening this weekend on Rodrigues versus Hernandez in Sacramento, and I'm not gonna be following my own picks. I'm gonna be using MMA Guru's UFC picks. If you don't know who he is, he's one of the main journalists slash personalities in the UFC slash MMA picture on YouTube. He's been absolutely killing it lately, and I've been watching him for quite a while, and he usually gives out some pretty good picks. Well, I don't know if his picks are actually that good. That's why I'm gonna be testing them out in this video. And yeah, I'm gonna see how profitable his picks are, and this is most likely gonna turn into a series, so let me know down in the comments if you want to see more of this. But let's get straight into it. I have $65 right here. I got $5 for each fight, and yeah, let's get into the first fight of the card here. Take it away, Guru.
Dyer versus Elise Reed. I'm gonna go with Chanel Dyer.
And there we go. I cut out all the breakdown of the fight and his whole analysis, but he did indeed pick Chanel Dyer, or Chanel Dyer, however you say it. So let me go ahead and place in the bet right here. And she's a minus 850, so my $5 is only gonna get me back $5.58. We got the first bet locked in, and let's keep on moving up the card here.
Wes Schultz versus Jackson McVeigh. I'm leaning towards Jackson McVeigh getting this one done, maybe by TKO.
And alright, there we go. We just dropped the second pick, Jackson McVeigh to win, and let me go ahead and lock that in here. And MMA Guru did say that he thinks he's gonna win by KO or TKO, but I'm not gonna pick the specific method of victory because Jackson McVeigh is only a minus 180 favorite, so I'm gonna just go ahead and lock him in to win. And alright, there we go. That's the second bet locked in. Let's see who he picks for the third fight.
Gage Young. He's taking on a guy here in Stan Dorsainville. So I'm going to go with Gage Young. 29-28 decision.
And alright, there we go. Gage Young is the third fighter he's going to pick to win. And he's a minus 162 favorite, so that's the third favorite that Guru has picked so far. And he didn't sound too confident that Gage Young was going to win, but hopefully he could pull it through. And let's see who's fighting next.
Marcio Barboza versus Ryan Hughes. Marcio Barboza 100% should destroy this guy, Ryan Hughes.
And for the fourth bet, we have another huge underdog right here, minus 750. The payout on this one isn't too big, but Guru sounded pretty confident that he was gonna win, and hopefully the next fighter he picks isn't a huge favorite like this one.
Chris Padilla versus Nasrat Haqparast. I'm gonna say that Nasrat's volume gets this one done. I'm gonna go with Nasrat Haqparast by decision.
And alright, there we go, a minus 115 favorite. That's not bad, actually. And Guru said this fight could go either way, and the odds definitely reflect that. Let's see who's fighting next.
Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Shamil Gaziev. I'm gonna go with Nzechukwu.
Okay, here we go, the first underdog pick of the entire card. Holy crap. A nice plus 114 bet right here. The payout is looking good on that one. The only thing that worries me a little bit is that Guru is usually wrong whenever he picks underdogs. Hopefully that's not the case this time, and let's see if he picks another one.
Larian Douglas returns on this card against Jamal Emmers, who's very crafty. So there is good value on Emmers here, but I'm going to go with Larian Douglas.
Okay, not quite an underdog bet. It's quite the opposite, actually. This guy's a minus 395 favorite, but I'm still going to lock it in nonetheless, and let's keep it moving.
Anthony Wint versus Terrence Chapman. I'm going to go against Terrence Chapman here, and I'm going to take Anthony Wint to win by easy first round KO.
Okay, so we're gonna switch things up a little bit here. As you can see, Guru picked a minus 1,000 favorite, and if I bet $5 on this guy to win, I would get back about 10 cents. But Guru sounded pretty confident that he was gonna get a round 1 knockout, so I'm gonna bet on him to win by knockout, which is still a little high, but it's better than the minus 1,000 that we were working with. So I am gonna switch things up a little bit here, and I'm gonna keep it pushing to the fifth fight of the card.
Carly Judice versus Jace Chavez. I'm gonna go with Carly Judice getting this one done.
So this is a pretty straightforward bet. It is a minus 600 favorite, which is a little concerning for women's MMA because I feel like women's MMA is so unpredictable. But I'm sure Guru knows what he's talking about, so let's move on to the fourth fight of the main card.
Markel Medeiros versus Mason Jones. I reckon we see a great performance out of Mason Jones. Finishes this by second round TKO.
Another huge favorite right here, minus 340 for the Mason Jones pick. And that's a common theme that I see for these UFC fight nights that don't have too many big names on them. A lot of the fights have huge favorites and are very one-sided, but that should slow down a little bit coming to the end of the card here. We have the last 3 fights, and these last fights actually have people that I've heard of before.
Reina Derrida versus Roman Dolidze. I'm gonna go with Reina Derrida by decision.
Okay, a crafty Reina the Riddler pick. He's a minus 375. I don't think he he should be that much of a favorite, but nonetheless I trust in Guru, so I'm still gonna bet on him, of course. And now the next fight is the co-main event of the evening.
Sergey Spivak versus Vitor Petrino. I'm gonna go with Sergey Spivak getting this one done by finish, TKO to ground and pound, or maybe a submission.
Another crafty pick back to back here, but this one is indeed an underdog, so that's what I like to see. The payout on this one is looking decent, and this is a heavyweight bout, which is pretty unpredictable because anything can happen in heavyweight, but hopefully Sergey can get the job done. And alright, here we go, the main event of the entire card.
Anthony Hernandez versus Gregory Rodrigues. I'm gonna go with Gregory Rodrigues. I'm gonna go with Gregory Rodrigues by TKO.
Holy crap, a 3P of crafty picks. In the main event, he's going for the underdog. Oh my goodness, this guy's insane. A plus 170 underdog win would be a pretty good way to end off the card, and I actually agree with this pick. I think Gregory Rodrigues is going to be tagging up Anthony Hernandez to the body, or he might even sit him down with a jab and finish him off with ground and pound. So the stars do indeed align on this one, and I think this is a great pick to end off the card. And there we go, all $65 is now spent, and yeah, I'll see you guys when it's all said and done.
The next day.
Okay, the UFC Fight Night Sacramento Anthony Hernandez versus Gregory Rodrigues is just concluded, and the results of my betting are pretty disappointing. MMA Guru predicted 7 out of 13 fights correct, but I only won 6 out of the 13 bets because I bet on one of them to win by KO and he won by submission. And the fights that he did get correct, the only one that wasn't the favorite was the main event, Gregory Rodrigues, so that means that all the payouts on the other fights weren't really that big, which makes sense because the total loss of this experiment was $20.33. So with this being said, I'm definitely gonna be betting against MMA Guru now. He lost me a good chunk of change, and if I would have bet against him, I would have actually won some money. So in my next video, I'm gonna be betting against him, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like. If you want to see more UFC betting content, make sure to subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next one.